So I'm in an unknown location right now, only known as Fast Camp. Now everyone knows Fast and the Furious, it is the biggest car film franchise in the world. And that is now being taken from on screen into real life. So it's gonna have the stunts, the cars, the characters, everything is being brought to life. And we popped down here to the secret location to find out what preparations have been going on, as this is gonna be hitting a road near you in January. So let's go have a look at the cars and see what they've been up to.
So, this is obviously Brian's original Supra from the first Fast and the Furious movie. We love this car, and I wanted to show it to you, so thanks very much, Chris. So, this is obviously the flip car from Fast and Furious 6. This is what they call in the movies an X-Picture car, so this is actually a real car from the film. So obviously we can welcome Nathan, who's driving this car.
So we're now just been taken into the hangar where they're keeping all of the cars that they're going to be using within the Fast and Furious live show. Now I have to admit, being a massive Fast and Furious fan, as I'm sure a lot of you are, it's quite special to be around some of the cars. Although they don't have the pink S2K, which Suki drove, which I'm a bit annoyed about, but whatever, it's fine. We've still got the 70 Charger, we've still got the SRT, we've still got the Supra, we've got everything here. So let's go and have a look. The famous 1970 Dodge Charger that is driven by Dom throughout the franchise. Of all the cars within the whole set, I'd say this one, the Black Charger, is probably the most iconic out of all of them. They have obviously import cars, but it's really the American muscle cars that stand out for me. This shape is insane. It's always good to see a big body muscle car. I mean, this car apparently has 900 horsepower and does the quarter mile in 9 seconds. Whether I fully believe that, maybe it is because it is all stripped out. This remains to be seen. But let's go get in it and actually have a look what it's like to be inside. So I am inside the iconic 70 Charger that Dom drove. How do I feel? I've always wanted an American muscle car. So for me to actually be inside one, I mean, it's completely stripped out, like totally bare metal. Like if you were ever gonna have something as raucous as this would be the way to have it. No room for a passenger though. So for any of you guys that are into your drag racing, you'll know that familiar shape of the blower coming out of the bonnet, but to see it in a street car is always something a little bit special. I would absolutely love to drive this car around London and have that thing going nuts out the front. Behind me, we have the very famous 2J Supra, which was driven by Paul Walker in the film. But this is not the actual car. This is the only one-to-one replica of that car that was ever made. This is a real stickler for details on this thing. They have really gone into it. It's got 3 different layers of the Lamborghini orange paint. The sticker man who had to put all the decals on the car, he had to do it 3 times because they weren't quite happy with the positioning, so it had to be absolutely perfect. I mean, this car really is a feat of the engineering to make all of the cars in the live show as realistic and true to the films as they could. You know, the legendary 2J engine. Now, they were determined to keep this engine in the Supra because it has just the most iconic noise. It has that perfect import noise. And you know what? Remember when you first heard your very first wastegate chatter? For me, that was seeing this Supra in the Fast and Furious films. It's 730 brake horsepower and it's actually running full boost at 3,500 revs. I mean, this thing is designed that they can basically make it bomb-proof because the arena is only 50 meters by 26, so they have to have it at full chat when they're going into those corners so they can whip it round for them. It's got, you know, cooling systems everywhere just to keep it nice and cool. As I said, absolutely bomb-proof. So we're now sat inside the Supra. Now, I always thought that this car looked like something fresh out of Hot Wheels and brought to life. But to actually be in the seat, I feel like all I want to do is like change gears about 18 times, rip that handbrake up. So it's got fly-off handbrake, we've got dials, we've got shift lights, we've got gauges, it's got everything that you would expect to see in a Fast and Furious car. I honestly feel like a little kid. Look at it, it's sick. So what we have actually behind us is the car which was originally used in Fast and Furious 6. Now this is the flip car. So whenever you're seeing all the fast moving motions that were going down the road, and you had this one which was driven by the baddie, which then obviously flipped the cars upside down. But what is more impressive about this thing is that it's a complete custom build, down, you know, chassis all the way up, from the engine to the drivetrain to absolutely everything. Let's go and take a look. There is only 2 of these in the world, and they've actually bought the one which was being used in the film to use in the Fast and Furious live show. What I'm most interested in is obviously the drivetrain of this thing. It's got quite an impressive engine setup. So this is an LS3 6.2 V8 Chevy engine, and then as you can see here, this amazing sort of tailpipe work is actually straight off of a speedboat. And then underpinning all of this on the chassis, you can see here, this is actually truck axles as well on airbags. So for all of those guys that are saying that airbags are rubbish, like, it's actually in a movie car as well. I mean, it's got independent rear steering on this thing as well, which is all controlled by a switch in the in the cockpit, and then you can recenter it with just a flick of a switch. So this thing is an absolute beast. I know I actually thought it had nitrous on it, which is quite funny, but all that bottle is there for is to just simply make the car flip up with the little ramp that you can see here. So I got super excited for not a lot. So one thing which I do really like about this is it's quite a small little feature, but really goes with the theme of the car. So as you can see here on the wing mounts, they've actually put in there, they've laser cut it out that it was number 6. So this car was originally used in the number 6 Fast and Furious. Nice little touch, I think. So as you can see here, you have your I'm pretty sure that's probably like a 280 mil steering wheel that you've got on there. Any of you guys that used to roll 280 Momo steering wheels on their Mark 1 Golfs will know that you are a player if you have that small of steering wheel. And this here is your rear steer control system. So literally you're driving along, you've got your normal steering column here, and then you have this joystick which controls your rear steer, which is pretty amazing because I would say if I was in a high-speed chase trying to drive this thing, forgetting my Nintendo DS joystick is actually controlling my rear axle, you'd end up having a bit of a crash. And then you've got here this little switch which will then recenter you. So it's a bit like driving and playing a pinball machine all at the same time. So that's certainly been an interesting day to see the effort and the amount of things that they are trying to bring to the real life stage for you guys. I'm really excited to see it in January. Once we've got everything in place, all the stunts are finished, the 3D mappings are all put into place, I think it's going to be one hell of a show, and I'm going to make sure that I'm there in January and make sure you guys are too. Oh yeah, make sure you watch the DVD first. I'm sure you've all got it, but if you haven't, it's out now. See you again next time.